Salmonella has experts scrambling. The AI-enabled FDA are fumbling the ball like Lord Mahomo at that last Super Bowl. And APHA didn't hear no bell in the fight against the recently announced ACIP immunization schedule. That's just some of what we're talking about on today's 21st episode of our X Report, where you get your health, your news delivered. That's right, our baby of a show is finally old enough to crack open a cold one with his old dad. The dad in question is me, your host, Manuel, coming to you from the home of pharmacy at the American Pharmacists Association in beautiful Washington, D.C. A very happy Pride to everyone watching. Now, we've got a lot to get into today, so be sure to smash that like and subscribe button, leave a comment on anything and everything that we talk about today to possibly be our lucky gift card winner, and let's dive in. Unprecedented changes are happening in the world of vaccine policy. Recently, there was a huge paradigm shift with the removal of ACIP voting members, as well as the shocking changes made to both the adult and pediatric vaccine schedules. Earlier this week, all voting members of the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, also known as ACIP, were dismissed. Pharmacists, other clinicians, and importantly, the public rely on ACIP for scientifically backed recommendations and information to support balancing their health risks with their choices for vaccination. Many associations, including APHA and patient advocacy groups, are deeply troubled that the HHS secretary unilaterally removed all 17 ACIP voting members without following formal protocols in this unprecedented move. This removal continues a pattern of unscientific decisions and is expected to have dire consequences for objective, nonpartisan representation on ACIP. To make things more concerning, sweeping changes were made to the adult and pediatric immunization schedules. These changes include removing the recommendation for people who are pregnant to get a COVID-19 vaccine, despite the evidence showing the value and safety of this vaccine for this population. Studies have shown that people who are pregnant or were recently pregnant are more likely to get very, very sick from COVID-19, leading to things like hospitalization, needing a ventilator, or even preterm birth or stillbirth. Vaccination during pregnancy has been proven safe and effective and prevents against these dire complications. Recognizing that pregnancy is considered a high-risk condition, people who are pregnant should be recommended to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. APHA is the only pharmacy representative among several organizations that are reviewing and evaluating the ACIP adult immunization schedule annually. However, with these modifications going against the existing scientific data and evidence, APHA announced that it is withholding its endorsement of the May 29th ACIP adult immunization schedule. At a time when misinformation around the vaccine process is rampant, this move simply creates more confusion and distrust among everyone. APHA strongly urges that the voting membership of ACIP be comprised of scientists, researchers, and clinicians, including pharmacists, who possess the clinical and scientific acumen to provide evidence-based recommendations for vaccines in a nonpartisan manner. But I gotta ask, what are your thoughts here? What do you think of APHA and possibly other professional organizations not supporting the ACIP adult immunization schedule? I'd love to hear in those comments down below. For our next story, the FDA's new artificial intelligence tool meant to help evaluate medical devices is not giving state-of-the-art vibes. In fact, it's more giving Microsoft Clippy with a migraine kind of vibes. Let me explain. According to a new report, the FDA has been developing a new AI tool to speed up reviews and approvals of medical devices such as pacemakers and insulin pumps. Sounds pretty good so far. But the AI tool struggles with basic tasks like distinguishing between devices with the same name, like minor details like whether it's a glucose monitor or a glucose grenade. That's not a real thing, it probably should be. I'm totally copywriting that name for my future candy empire. Nobody steal that. The FDA AI, which has been internally dubbed the extremely original name of CDRH GPT, is now ushering in a new era of efficient medical analysis and comprehension, something many patients are in sore need of. To be fair, the division creating this tool was heavily affected by the recent federal layoffs, leaving the team understaffed and overworked. But the danger still remains. This isn't just about wonky software, the stakes are real. If AI is helping make decisions about medical devices and it can't tell the difference between two entries with the same-ish title, that's a problem. It's kind of like putting your toaster in charge of your colonoscopy. You might end up with an extremely unpleasant result.
toast.
The tool, thankfully, is still in its preliminary stages and has not been given free rein of the FDA's internal approval network. But the moral of the story here is that the move fast and break things mentality of the AI-enabled Silicon Valley may not be the best motto for a government agency in charge of protecting people's lives. For our next story, let's crack open something a bit messier. An egg-linked Salmonella outbreak is sweeping across 7 states, leaving dozens scrambling to recover. At least 79 people have fallen ill and 21 were hospitalized. What's to blame? Undercooked or contaminated eggs. Yes, in a plot twist that probably surprises no one, our humble breakfast hero may not be as sunny side up as we once thought. The Salmonella strain involved in this outbreak has spread across Washington and 6 other states, and health officials are still hatching plans to fully trace the source. Some cases have been severe enough to require hospitalization, though no deaths have thankfully been recorded as of yet. This is no joke. Salmonella can cause severe gastrointestinal symptoms, and while most people recover, it can be extremely dangerous for the very young, the elderly, and immunocompromised folks. So, what do we do with this info? 1, maybe stop licking the bowl when you make brownies. 2, educate your people and patients about proper food handling. And 3, seriously, who is still eating raw eggs in 2025? This isn't Rocky. Finally, let's talk about pertussis, aka whooping cough, which is making a very unwanted comeback. And the Pan American Health Organization is ringing the alarm bell louder than a toddler with an iPad. Cases are rising across the Americas, and the reason will not shock you. Can you guess? That's right, gaps in childhood vaccination. I'm feeling like a worse Dora the Explorer at this point, but instead of Swiper, I'm dealing with diseases that have been dealt with for decades by now. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's 2025. Shouldn't this be a solved problem by now? But with vaccine hesitancy, misinformation, and disrupted immunization programs post-COVID, coverage has taken a nosedive. PAHO is calling for stronger surveillance and catch-up campaigns, especially for kids under 5. It's not just the US as of this year. 7 countries have gotten whooping cough outbreaks, with over 14,000 reported cases and 93 deaths. Parents, this is your call to action. Check those immunization records, talk to your medical provider, and be the voice of reason in a world that sometimes trusts TikTok over decades of established medical science. TikTok is for cooking shorts, dance vids, and definitely not medical advice. Come on, people. And let's be honest, nothing says you love your child more than making sure they don't cough so hard that they throw up on their Paw Patrol lunchbox. And that is our show. If this podcast made you want to egg your local chicken coop, then leave us a like and subscribe. What did you think about today's stories? Should AI be allowed near a medical device before it can pass a basic CAPTCHA? Do you agree with APHA's decision to withhold endorsement with the ACIP? Let us know in those comments below. Congrats to 2 Cole for School, who is our lucky gift card winner for leaving us a lovely comment on some of our last videos. Our executive producer is Rob Hodges. Our creative producer and co-editor is Kate Erdmann. And until next time, I've been your host, Mason Manuel. Be sure to tune in next Friday for more RX Report, where you get your health, your news delivered. But till then, bye y'all.